Chapter 2, Karate Framework Setup and Execution. So in this chapter, we are going to see what are the prerequisites, Karate Framework Setup, and then we are going to invoke a one API with the help of the Karate. So let me start this chapter. So what are the prerequisites? Right now in these sessions, we are going to use a Java. So whenever we are going to use a Java at this moment, Karate requires at least Java 11.0. Karate also works with the Open JDK. So we have two IDs. One is IntelliJ, another is a VS Code. So these both IDs are getting a support from the framework side, from the Karate framework side. But these IDs are a paid. At this moment, a couple of months before, these IDs were free. Now these IDs are a paid one. So we are also going to use a dependency management along with the Java whenever we are using it. So dependency management existed related to Maven as well as a grader. So let me go to IntelliJ and have a setup of the Karate. So we are using IntelliJ IDE. So let's go and click on new project and it will take us on this window where we have a different options, Java and the Maven. So whenever we are using a Karate, we need to use a Java along with the Maven as well. So I'm not going to use a Maven archetype. I'm going to use a Java, and here we can change the location right now if you want. I am changing the location. Let's change the name of this Karate as well. We are saying the name. I am going to provide a Karate session. So let's select this Maven. At least requirement for the Karate framework is a Java 11, but right now on my machine is Java 17. So let's go and click on create and it will create a project for us. Project successfully created. So let's commit here inside this main. This main is present inside this Java org automation. So what we are going to do is let's run this to make sure that our project is successfully created or not. So click on run and it is going to print the contents, or it is going to print the output which is present inside the for loop, and we can see we able to get the output as well. So one of the important part whenever we are installing or whenever we are working with the Karate, we need to have a plugin needs to be installed in this IntelliJ IDE. So whenever you want to install a plugin, you need to go to here. We have the settings, and inside the settings we have a one options which is this plugins. So here we have two tabs. One is a marketplace, another install. What we are going to do is we are going to come it here and search for a Karate as a plugin. So here we can click on install and we can see it is installed. Let's go and apply. So this Karate plugin is available with us in this particular IntelliJ IDE as well. So when we commit here, we can see this Karate plugin is available. So one thing you need to keep in mind, so if you have a Cucumber or you have a Gherkin, then you need to uninstall it. Otherwise this Karate plugin will not work as per our expectations. Now the next task is to download a dependencies inside this pom.xml. So what we are going to do is we are going to add a Karate dependency in this pom.xml. So whenever you want to have the dependencies, first you need to search the dependencies. So let's have it here inside this mvn-repository.com, and here we have a dependencies of a Karate. So what we are going to do is we are going to use this Karate dependency, which is this Karate-JUnit. So let's commit here, open this at this moment, which is this 1.4.1. so copy this, commit here inside this Maven, inside this pom. Whenever you want to have the dependencies, you need to add it inside the dependencies tag as well. So let's go and run it here to download all the dependencies of this Karate-JUnit 5 inside this project. So when we commit here inside this external libraries, we can see it must have this Karate core as well as a Karate-JUnit 5.1. Now after having this dependency, what we are going to do is we are going to create a feature files. We are going to create the feature files inside this test, because we are going to write the test cases inside this test as well. So right now let's right click, say we can say a packages, and inside this packages we can have the name as a Karate. We can say it is a test, and inside this Karate test we are going to create the feature file. So right click, say new, and here is a one option related to a Karate feature file. So we need to select this, and here we need to provide the name of a feature file as well. Right now we are saying get request, and we can see we have this feature files as well as the scenario. We need to provide the feature file. name as well as the scenario name. Now we can give the scenario name as well. We can say get request. Now we have the name. We are going to use a few keywords provided by the Karate framework. Here we need to provide the URL. URL is an endpoint. So we are going to use a gorest.co.in. So this gorest.co.in is going to provide different fake APIs as well. So we are going to use this gorest.co.in public user. So this is a get request which we are going to perform it. So let's commit here. Inside this we can provide the endpoint here. So this is nothing but a endpoint, and when we talk about this public /v2/users, this is nothing but a resource on the server, and this URL is a keyword provided by the Karate to us. Now we have the endpoint. We are going to use a when. What is a method which we are going to use it? We are going to use method is equal to get. Now after having invoking this get call, we are going to verify the status as well. Then we are saying status is equal to 200. So these are the different keywords provided by the Karate to us. So we are going to say method. What method you want to invoke it? We want to invoke a get method. After invoking the get method, we are going to get the response from the server side. Then we are saying then what is the status code? The status is a keyword provided by the Karate to us, and then what is the status code we are expecting? We are expecting at this moment is equal to 200. So now whenever we want to invoke it, one way is right click and say run get request. Let's click on this. So we are getting this message. It is saying running test requires a plus subscription. It means if you want to use a Karate as a plugin inside this IntelliJ, we need to subscribe, we need to get a paid license. So let's click on this help page, and it help us to take it to that particular license activation page. And when we scroll it little down, we are going to get the information related to fees, and here is a pricing. So let's click on this pricing. It is having a different options. One is open source, which is this free, plus if you want to use IDs, whether it is a VS Code or IntelliJ, then what you need to do is you need to buy the license for us. But what we are going to do is we are going to use a free, but we cannot use the way we were executing the test cases with the help of this right click. For that we are going to write a runner file. That's why we have used this a Karate JUnit file. We are going to write a runner file. Let's click on this. We are saying Java class, and here we are saying a runner file, and inside this runner file we are going to create a one method. So we are saying public this time void, we can say run, and we are going to mark this run method as a Karate test. So here is a Karate, dot is a test, and this run will be a test case which we are going to invoke. We are getting a syntax error. What we need to do is we need to add a @. So after adding the @, we are going to execute the test cases. We have this Karate dot run, and inside the run we are going to pass the path of this feature file. So let's have this. We are going to use a path. We are going to have it inside this double quotation marks, and then we are going to provide the path. We are having this Karate test, and inside this get request we are having a feature file which is this get request dot feature file. After having the run method, we need to add a relative to, and what is relative to get class as well. So we have added this relative to. Another thing what we need to do is we need to use a return keyword, and then we need to return whatever the things which we are getting it from this relative to as well. And here we can say a Karate, which we are going to return it. After adding these things, we can do a run as well. So right click, say run, and it is going to invoke the test cases which we have written it inside this get request dot feature file as well. So right now we are getting this result. It means we are getting error. It is in Karate get request feature not able to identify, but we have provided a correct path. So another thing we need to add it inside the pom.xml file. So here we are going to commit here inside. So this is the official website of a Karate Labs, which is this github.com karate lab/karate. We need to add a one tag which is this test resources as well. So let's do one thing. Let's copy this, and we need to add it inside this pom.xml file above the project. So we are going to remove this plugins. We don't need it. And whenever we are saying the test resources, so whatever the test cases which we have written it here inside this test. So another thing, we are telling to the pom.xml file to target the test here inside this karate test, inside this test folder as well. So now let's reload this, click on this to load a Maven changes, and after it we are going to commit here inside this runner and say right click and run, and now it is going to identify the test cases which is present inside a get request dot feature file, and then it is going to invoke the test cases. We can say it is getting it invoked, get request passed. Now let's scroll it down, and we are having this report which we are getting it generated with the help of the karate. We can click on this karate test get request dot feature, and these are the different steps which we have executed with the help of the feature file which we have added it. In this way we can execute the test cases. So that's it in this chapter.